He laughed when his wife walked into court alone, until the judge called her name. The tension in courtroom 7B was palpable as Catherine Matthews walked through the heavy wooden doors alone. In the gallery, dozens of eyes turned to watch her determined stride, including mine. As someone who'd been covering family court cases for years, I thought I'd seen it all, until that Tuesday morning when everything I understood about courage and redemption changed forever. If you're moved by stories of unexpected strength and second chances, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful true stories that remind us of our shared humanity. Robert Matthews sat in the front row, his expensive suit a stark contrast to Catherine's simple dress. When he spotted her enter without a lawyer, a smirk spread across his face. He leaned toward his attorney, whispering something that made both men chuckle. Robert had always underestimated his wife of 15 years, it was a mistake he was about to regret deeply. "All rise for the Honorable Judge Eleanor Winters," the bailiff announced. The room fell silent as a distinguished woman in her 60s took her place at the bench. Her gaze swept across the courtroom, pausing briefly on Catherine's solitary figure. "First case, Matthews vs. Matthews," Judge Winters stated, reviewing the file before her. "I see Mr. Matthews is represented by counsel. Mrs. Matthews, are you representing yourself today?" Catherine stood, her voice steadier than her hands. "Yes, Your Honor." Robert's smirk widened. His lawyer straightened his tie, confidence radiating from both men. They had prepared for months, gathering financial documents, character witnesses, and legal precedents. What chance did Catherine have on her own? "Very well," the judge continued. "Before we begin, I'd like to address something in the file." She adjusted her glasses, then looked directly at Catherine. "It says here you're Catherine Matthews, formerly Catherine Winters. Any relation?" The courtroom went still. Robert's smile vanished as his head snapped toward his wife. "Yes, Your Honor," Catherine replied quietly. "You're my aunt." Judge Winters nodded. "In that case, I must recuse myself from these proceedings." She turned to the bailiff. "Please reassign this case immediately." Robert's face flushed with anger as he grabbed his lawyer's arm. This wasn't part of their plan. But what happened next stunned everyone in the courtroom. "Actually, Your Honor," Catherine said, her voice growing stronger, "I'm not asking for any special treatment. I'm requesting that Judge Martinez take this case instead. He has no connection to either of us and has a reputation for fairness. I've already filed the motion." Judge Winters studied her niece with newfound respect. "Motion granted. This case will be heard by Judge Martinez tomorrow morning." She banged her gavel once. "Court is adjourned until then." As Catherine turned to leave, Robert blocked her path. "You think you're so clever," he hissed. "But you have no idea what you're up against." Catherine met his gaze without flinching. "For once, Robert, I know exactly what I'm up against. And I'm not afraid anymore." The next morning, Catherine arrived early, clutching a worn leather portfolio. Robert and his attorney huddled at their table, shooting occasional glances her way. When Judge Martinez entered, the atmosphere shifted from tense to electric. "I've reviewed the case file," Judge Martinez began, "and I understand this is a petition for divorce with disputed assets and custody arrangements for your 2 children. His gaze moved between the parties. "Mr. Matthews, your lawyer has submitted extensive documentation. Mrs. Matthews, I see you've submitted documentation as well, though you're representing yourself. Is that correct?" "Yes, Your Honor," Catherine answered, her voice stronger than the day before. What unfolded over the next 3 hours shocked everyone in attendance. With methodical precision, Catherine presented evidence of Robert's hidden assets, financial manipulation, and emotional abuse. She wasn't just a housewife as Robert had always dismissed her. Before their marriage, she had been a paralegal specializing in family law. For 2 years, she had secretly documented everything while preparing to leave. "Your Honor," she said, her voice unwavering as she presented her final exhibit. These bank statements show $2.3 million transferred to offshore accounts that Mr. Matthews failed to disclose. I've included the account numbers and transaction dates. Robert's face turned ashen. His attorney frantically flipped through papers, unprepared for this level of detailed evidence. Furthermore, Catherine continued, I've submitted testimonies from my children's teachers, our family therapist, and neighbors that demonstrate my commitment to our children's well-being, as well as documenting the patterns of absence and neglect in Mr. Matthews' parenting. When she finished presenting her case, the courtroom fell silent. Robert's confidence had crumbled entirely, replaced by the dawning realization that he had severely misjudged the woman he had married. Judge Martinez reviewed the evidence carefully before speaking. Mrs. Matthews, your preparation is commendable. Mr. Matthews, your counsel has requested a recess to review these documents. I'm granting a 30-minute break. During the recess, Robert's lawyer pulled him into a corner, gesturing emphatically. Their whispered argument grew heated before Robert finally slumped in defeat. When court resumed, Robert's attorney addressed the judge. Your Honor, in light of the evidence presented, my client wishes to offer a settlement. The terms he outlined represented a complete reversal of their original position, fair division of assets, primary custody to Catherine, and reasonable support payments. Catherine listened carefully before responding. I accept the terms with one addition. I want Mr. Matthews to commit to family counseling with our children. They need their father, but they need him to be present and engaged. Robert looked up, surprise crossing his features. Despite everything, she still wanted him to maintain a relationship with their children. Judge Martinez nodded approvingly. A thoughtful addition, Mrs. Matthews. Mr. Matthews, do you agree to this term? After a moment's hesitation, Robert nodded. I do, Your Honor. The settlement was finalized that afternoon. As people filed out of the courtroom, I watched Catherine gather her documents. Robert approached her cautiously. How did you do all this? He asked, genuine bewilderment in his voice. Catherine met his gaze steadily. You never bothered to really know me, Robert. You saw what you wanted to see, a compliant wife you could control. But I was always more than that. I underestimated you, he admitted. Yes, you did. But our children don't have to pay for that mistake. Be the father they deserve, Robert. 6 months later, I ran into Catherine at a coffee shop downtown. The transformation was remarkable, she radiated confidence and peace. She had started her own consulting business helping women navigate difficult divorces and was thriving. The judge calling my name that day was just coincidence, she told me over coffee. But it was the catalyst I needed. For years, I'd been invisible in my own life. That moment in court, when everyone finally saw me, was when I truly began to see myself. What would you tell other women in similar situations? I asked. Catherine thought for a moment. That your voice matters. That preparation beats intimidation every time. And that sometimes, the strength you need has been inside you all along, just waiting for the right moment to emerge. As I watched her leave the coffee shop, I thought about how easy it is to misjudge people, to see only what's on the surface. Catherine's story wasn't just about winning a divorce case, it was about reclaiming her identity and finding the courage to stand alone. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply show up as our authentic selves, even when others laugh or underestimate us. Because as Catherine proved that day in courtroom 7B, there's nothing more formidable than someone who has finally discovered their own worth. If you found Catherine's journey as inspiring as I did, please like this video and subscribe for more stories that celebrate the resilience of the human spirit. Remember, it's never too late to rewrite your own ending.